So it looks like we have a good number of folks in here. I want to honor everyone's time that is here. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll kind of let others come on in as they see fit. So I'm assuming everyone is familiar with Zoom at this point a little bit, but if not, there's a chat bar in the bottom of your screen there. We're going to encourage you guys to share thoughts or questions that you want to address in that chat bar, and we'll pause periodically to address anything that comes up, as well as you guys have the ability to mute and unmute and turn your cameras on and off as you see fit. So as you enter, you're muted automatically. What we're talking about today is kind of virtual projects and field work in this situation that we all find ourselves in. One thing I just want to kind of name off the bat is that I know we have a lot of expertise in the room, so we're going to try to crowdsource some of that and get some ideas together for how we can all get through this and do the work that we want to be doing. My name is Adam Borick, and I'm a 10th grade humanities teacher at High Tech High in Point Loma, San Diego, California. It's a project-based learning school. Most recently, I've been building large-scale rockets with students and things like that. So this is quite the adjustment for me to go from a lot of engineering and hands-on work to digital collaboration and things like that. So it's a learning curve for me. I am far from an expert, but I'm going to do my best to share some ideas that have worked out so far for me and my colleagues. So we have Chris Millo, if you want to introduce yourself as well, and Julia Jacobson.
Great. So my name is Chris Millo. I teach 11th grade biology and environmental science, High Tech High Media Arts, which is one of the high schools in our system. And yeah, I'm going to pass it to you, Julia. Go for it.
Great. My name's Julia Jacobson. I work at the High Tech High Graduate School of Education as a professional learning coordinator, and also at High Tech Middle in North County as a project coach. And so a lot of my work in the last month has been trying to figure out how to support adults in supporting kids as we transition online. And so one of the benefits of being in the role that I'm in is I've had kind of a window into a lot of different experiences that folks have been having. And so today I'm going to share a little bit about some things that I've seen that where folks are using distance learning as kind of a benefit in designing their projects.
Cool. Thank you, guys. So the agenda we're going to be kind of running through. We don't have a lot of time, so with 45 minutes or so, as you guys know, I'm going to honor you guys' time and have a hard stop right at 45, and then I will be hanging around at the end to kind of chat with anyone that wants to hang out for about 15, 20 minutes, ideas, brainstorm questions, things like that. So again, this is a big adjustment for all of us, I think, and there's some ups and downs even in just the day-to-day, and I can only imagine in classrooms and in your space as well. So what we want to do is Chris, Julie, and I are each going to share out a little bit of a highlight of something that we think is working reasonably well or going well for our transition. And then we're going to separate into some breakout rooms and ask to brainstorm and collaborate and come up with some ideas on things that you could be doing in your community to help engage students and continue doing field work in this situation. We'll do a quick share out after breakout rooms and then any final questions or thoughts. So some of the questions we're hoping you guys can just keep in the back of your mind during this session is how can we still incorporate experiences early in project cycles? So in project-based learning, typically it's the experience that drives the content and it drives the learning. And right now, I think we're all struggling for how to have experiences while we're kind of trapped in these isolated bubbles, physically, actually, and kind of socially. So what ideas do people have for how we can keep having experiences? How can you continue work you had in progress? We were all interrupted in the middle of the semester. So is there a way to transition from what you are already doing and carry that on and not have to recreate a whole new plan? How can we best empower students to take control of their own learning during this time? I think, you know, for me, myself, I'm having a hard time motivating students to do, my default originally was to fall back onto traditional stuff, kind of call and response, you know, watch this video, write me a summary. And I was having trouble with engagement in the first few weeks. So I'm leaning more towards students kind of helping me navigate and pick the content and helping empower them to take control of their learning now. And then what organizations or who are some experts that you could theoretically partner with within your communities now to try to get kids connected to real life experiences through this digital collaboration. So we're gonna, each of us, Chris, Julie, and I are just gonna take a couple minutes and share out some of the things that are working well for us. We're calling them highlights. And so mine actually has been that piece of kind of redefining what an expert is and allowing students to propose and execute some of their own projects. And so the one example I have is a student who decided to try to build, he was a really big indoor rock climber, and obviously his gyms are closed. That's a lot of his social life and his active life. And so he was going a little stir crazy, and he had the resources to build a home climbing wall. So I've been supporting him digitally to do that. And so it started kind of there's some links in the slide deck that's going to be shared all with you. This idea that this student had actually caused me to create a whole proposal process for students to propose work. And that includes kind of what their idea is, what kind of materials they might need, what they have access to, what I could get them, either shipping or maybe dropping off, and a calendar, what kind of schedule they can make, and benchmarks and little kind of, so just like you would schedule a project in person, I'm having students fill out this proposal sheet, which is linked on the slide deck as well. And so when he first had this idea, I asked him to, okay, we'll start just by drawing on paper. How do you imagine this thing looking? What kind of limitations is it gonna have? How are you gonna hold it up? Things like that. And so, you know, that's this first sketch here. And then from there, I started to get a little bit more specific. Okay, so if you want certain angles on certain walls, you're gonna have to do, you know, you're gonna have to do the mathematics that go along with that and try to figure all that out. And you're gonna have to figure out distances before, so we can figure out how much lumber you're gonna need and all those things. I then asked him to put it into Google SketchUp and create like a 3D model of it where he could get a little more precise with the mathematics and stuff. And it was a little bit of a challenge at first to guide him through this design process. But then what I really pushed him on was the idea that this design process, while it might take a while, might be difficult, it's extremely important for when he actually goes to buy the materials, because it's going to be expensive, and I want to make sure he knows exactly how much and what to get to make sure there's no waste or anything like that. And so he, you know, started as a paper design, added dimensions, moved into Google SketchUp, and then from there we put together a materials list. And he was able to go to Home Depot and get the things he needed, and from there actually, you know, be able to build it. And you know, every situation's different. Right now, he was about 5, 10 minutes away from where I live, and so I was able to go into my school where I have a bunch of tools and borrow, you know, some of the saws and drills and things like he would need, and drop them off at his house on his front porch. And, you know, I communicated with his parents in a quick phone call to make sure all was well, and there's someone there to help him. His dad's helping him build this thing. So that was sort of how this kind of transpired. And for me, it's been just an awesome experience to see, because he wasn't entirely, he's in my class prior to getting interrupted with the COVID-19, and he was minimally kind of engaged. He would do enough to kind of get by and was polite and kind and everything like that, but wasn't like the biggest go-getter. And after we settled on this project, I was getting texts and drawings and stuff emailed to me pretty consistently. And he's been really working hard at it since we got out, and he's almost finished. So this is kind of a highlight for me. This is, I think, best case scenario. You know, a more low barrier to entry of someone proposing a project that went well was a student that wanted to learn anatomy. And so I sent them 20 pages of anatomy coloring book, and they're working on that. That just took me printing some paper and some colored pencils. So that was only about, you know, $5 in an Amazon order. So, you know, this is obviously a bit of an extreme example of a student taking ownership and creating a project, but there's the concept can be applied on lower levels of entry as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today, is something that I'm pretty excited about, and getting. Oh, and the last piece is, as students, as who is an expert. So his dad is a general contractor. That helps a lot with this, but redefining who is expert is in this situation, just taking any access we can get. So using his dad as a resource to help build out some curriculum for my class was very helpful.
Well,
Julia, would you like to go next?
Yep. Thanks, Adam.
Cool. Yep.
So I'm going to be sharing a project that's from High Tech Middle North County. The arts, so High Tech Middle North County has 3 exploratory classes that are each a different type of arts. And they've decided to collaborate all together and support the entire school in a single project, both as a way to help manage just like the flow together, because each of us, even as adults, are experiencing this differently and have different levels of capacity to come in and support on any given day or week. And so we wanted to create something that was going to be manageable for the team all together. And we wanted to have something that we read the article that was shared in the last workshop around trauma-informed instruction during this time. And we really wanted something that was going to offer choice and empower students, something that would have meaning for them. And so we launched this project called Creativity in Quarantine, where kids have a choice of 4 different art studios that they can opt into to create a product that's going to ultimately be exhibited with the San Diego History Center. So this project is launching today, and kids will get a chance to explore the different studios. There's a photography studio, a collaborative video studio, a spoken word studio, and a maker studio. And in each of those, kids will go through this same process. So we launched today, and they'll get a chance to just kind of like enter their studio and figure out what it looks like, and do kind of an introductory activity. Next week they'll explore the medium a little bit more, and the following week they'll turn in their products, first draft of their products. One of the things that I'm excited about with this project is the week of May 18th will be a chance for every kid to get feedback from some kind of expert. And so one of the things that we wanted as a team was to build a kind of a runway. So we have 3 weeks to figure out how many kids are in each of the studios, and so how many experts do we need to pair them with. And we already have some exciting leads on experts that kids will be connecting with kids. For the photography studio, we've partnered with 100 Cameras that's put out this awesome workshop that already exists online. It mapped perfectly with this project that we're wanting to do, that supports students through exploring photography as a medium for sharing their experience of this current situation. And the 100 Cameras has a board of creatives that are all photographers that work in the field. They have their bios up on the website so kids can kind of get to know them. And they are going to be, folks are excited to be connecting with kids. Everybody's trapped at their house right now. And there are a lot of people who are looking to like make meaningful connections and do meaningful work. And so they were really excited to be supporting the work that our students were doing. This is 100 Camas is like a project of passion for them already. And so they were really stoked to learn that kids were wanting to use it to create something together as a community. And so they're going to be joining us in the week of May 18th to give feedback on student photography. Similarly, the San Diego History Center was, Chris, will you keep it on the slide?
Oh, sorry about that. That's actually
okay. The San Diego History Center was also really excited. They are an organization that we've partnered with in person several times. And they're also stuck at their houses and trying to figure out what that means for the work that they're going to do and how they can partner remotely. And so they were really open to flexible, like creative ideas about how to partner. And they're going to host on their website our final exhibition and do a little bit of marketing with us. They've also offered to have their curations team meet with our teachers and with our students to talk about what kind of work is and how we might curate it on their website. And so it's been really exciting to build these partnerships with folks who already are out there in the world, already trying to do this kind of work and really wanting to make connections with kids. And so for me, like as Adam kind of spoke to the challenge of like stopping midstream in a project and thinking like, what now, what do we do? It was for me and for my team really deflating. And so building these connections with folks has kind of like given us renewed energy around like this full redesign that nobody asked for.
Cool. All right. So now I'm gonna. Sorry. Thanks, Adam.
Go ahead, Chris.
Great.
Sorry for jumping around on you guys a little bit there.
All good. So the top 3 photos are from my students, my 11th grade biology students from February of this year. We front-loaded a lot of field experiences. We were doing a collaborative partnership project with the San Diego River Park Foundation. And I've worked with them in the past, so I have some strong relationships with them. So we had put in all of this work to prep us to have an exhibition at the San Diego River. And when this kind of stopped abruptly, we were gonna come back from spring break and start planning out our exhibition, but we didn't get an opportunity to do that. So the space that I'm in right now is kind of making a pivot. So I wanna be able to honor the student experiences that we've already had and still do something with this project. And some of you might be in this situation yourselves where students have received all of these really cool experiences and then it's like, well, now what? So our goal then, we had done some letter writing and some campaigns beforehand. So what I'm really trying to do and working with my collaborative partners is to create something that honors the student experience. We're shifting to a postcard, a virtual postcard and advocacy project that we're going to be calling Voices of the River. And for me, it's been really important just to bring this back full circle. I think that in my mind, I was thinking immediately of transitioning to a project that would kind of play to the experience that students were living. And then based on student feedback, they still want to be learning about things outside of the current situation that we're in. So that felt like a really big tension and something that I wanted to circle back and honor. So for me, it's still a work in progress, but I wanted to share this with you that if this is you and you'd like to talk, just let me know.
Thanks, Chris. Chris, could you post a link to the slide deck in the chat bar for me? So we're going to post a link to the slide deck in the chat bar. And that has some helpful links in there. My personal project proposal sheet that includes like kind of how to have a student propose a project or how we're doing it, as well as like a calendar they can fill out, is linked there. It's just a Google Doc, so feel free to copy and edit and use as you see fit. And then Julia's got some helpful links here as well. So we're going to share all this with you guys. And that actually helps us transition into where we're heading next. You know, it's a hard thing for me teaching on Zoom because at High Tech High, where I'm at, I'm very rarely am I the center of the room. Usually, when you walk into my classroom, you'll find students working in small groups, and I'll be either sitting with a small group, kind of in a conversation, or bouncing around. Not too often am I at the center lecturing. So this has been quite the adjustment for me, and it still is. So with that in mind, we want to try to get into smaller groups to see if we can do a little brainstorming and come up with some ideas in breakout rooms for how you guys, what kind of work you can do in your communities. We have a lot of people on here from all different backgrounds. So I think we can get a lot of different ideas. And so we're going to post the slide deck in the chat bar there. And what we're going to ask you guys to do is, in groups of about 3 or 4 in breakout rooms, if you could just consider these questions. So what ideas do you have for fieldwork in your local setting? And who are organizers or experts you could partner with during this time? And what we're going to ask you guys to do is just on your slide deck here, it's public so everyone can edit. So if you're in breakout room number 2, you'll have this corresponding slide, and perhaps you can just come in and list out, make a podcast or something like that. Whatever idea you have, and connect with like a local, media or podcast company or something like that. So we're just doing a kind of quick crowd. We only have about 15 minutes left. So we just want to do a quick share out of ideas and get as many ideas as we can. So really this is just kind of a brainstorming session. And then from there, we're hoping that everyone can leave with some kind of practical idea that they can that they can apply within their day-to-day. So that's sort of what we're hoping for. Maybe the person, if you're stalled a little bit, maybe the person with the first name in alphabetical order could take on a little bit of facilitation. But if you guys could just add ideas to this slide deck as we go, and then we'll share it out, and we'll all have the resources of everyone in the room to help us out. Had an old boss that used to say, the biggest brain in the room is the room. So we're going to try to capitalize on that right now and just get as many ideas together as we can in the next 10, 15 minutes or so.
I want to add one quick note for the brainstorm for just a couple of different lenses that you might take on. One of the things that's valuable about connecting is that it can help kids feel connected to their actual community. So thinking about who in your community might kids be connecting with, but another lens to think about is like everyone is trapped in their houses right now, and including people who are like quite famous and might otherwise be very busy. And so this is a chance for kids to connect, like think of some kind of like moonshot ideas too about who you could reach out to, because it's very possible that you would get a yes.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Chris, anything you want to add before we head out to breakout rooms?
No, I just think it's really important, like what Julia said, just to dream big about this and shoot for the moon, and think about those contacts that you've had maybe in the past, the ones that you currently have, and really just trying to get students to be excited about their learning. I think that's ultimately the goal.
Cool. So Chris is going to send you all to breakout rooms, and we'll meet back here in about 15 minutes or so.
Great.
Welcome back, everyone, as we come together here. Chris, do we thumbs up if we have everyone back? breakout rooms closed?
Not
we
quite.
got,
Yeah,
okay,
there's
cool.
I gave about a 30 second. It looks like everyone's coming in right now. I think
Cool. So,
it's maybe like 10 seconds.
Awesome. So,
We're back.
Cool, coming back together. Yeah, I think we got everyone coming in the next minute or so.
I think we're all here by now.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Chris, you have my screen, correct?
I do. I can see it.
Cool. All right. So I hope that you guys, I hope that was a somewhat helpful experience for everyone. I was in a breakout room, and I was joking that it's a very strange situation to be in, where I was building kind of these rockets and had a very detailed and like hands-on project that was very tangible. And then when I first signed up to lead these workshops, and it was a very simple thing for me, I just brought people into the rocket lab and had students explain to them how we built these rockets. And that was always a pretty fun and good experience. And then to transition into trying to host how to teach on a digital platform was, I think it's a stretch to call me an expert in this regard, to say the least. So I hope that you got together with some people and at least came up with some ideas. We only have, Julia, Chris, do you guys want to add anything or share anything before I run through some of the ideas we have on these slides to wrap up?
So one of the things that's valuable to do something that I've noticed about like Zoom collaboration is it can be a little bit nerve-wracking to like put your ideas out there publicly, and then it's like silence. And so something that can kind of like support virtual collaboration is to give feedback, some like positive feedback, to create a sense of community and common purpose and energy towards our goals. So something that I recommend that you do after the session is go through the slides and add some comments onto ideas from rooms that you are not in. Let them know if you see an idea that's inspiring to you, or that gives you something, a fresh idea for your project, or maybe if you have something to add on, like an expert that you know about that they could connect with, or an organization that you know about. Those kinds of things really help create a community when we're all like only able to interact virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we only have about like 3 minutes till our promised hard stop. Yeah, of course, I'm going to be on till 12, but you guys are welcome to stay with me. But I know people have classes and other Zoom meetings and kids and everything else to get to. So I'm just going to run through maybe an idea from each slide that I see. If you guys want to add comments or chat in the chat bar as well, Chris, just flag me down if I'm running through without answering questions or anything like that.
Great. Yeah, and can I just add one thing? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
of
if
course.
I'm not sure if this was said or not. But I think it's just really important to consider the expertise that exists within students' homes already, and the resources that are there as well. That probably came up, but I was tending to a chat. So
absolutely, I think the idea of moving away from kind of what we might have viewed as a traditional expert in our classroom settings to kind of expand that to include kind of anyone and everyone in their skill set is an important thought. So if anyone has any leads on internet access, I know down in San Diego, Cox and some other companies are giving away free stuff. So perhaps we could share that out on the slide deck at the end. So kind of local businesses came up a lot. That came up in my chat room as well. So you can still kind of do a lot of media study, ocean study. This piece here, suicide prevention and mental health, I think that's really important. That came up in the breakout room I was in as well, just putting together resources for students and teachers alike on where they can get help. A lot of people don't know that information. Gardening, that came up a lot as an idea. People have access to that sometimes, and that's a low cost project that you can help facilitate. So some experts on this slide here, we have author interviews. I think that's a great research, having students reach out on Twitter or to an email to people who are published authors and things like that. Parents, obviously, I think we have to rely on them right now. So use existing videos that are about popular authors, children's books authors, local history centers. Yeah.
Can I put in a note about this one?
Yeah, please.
So this was from our group. One of the things that I think is important, especially when working with younger kids, one person in our group works with kindergarteners, but this is true, I think, across the board. In real life, when we look for experts to support our projects, we're looking for people who both have like expertise in the arena that we're wanting students to learn about, and that are good with kids, that can really like engage with the students. And that's true online too. And so I've been kind of like scouring this arena of like existing resources from published authors. And there's some like, I think it's something that's cool about it is that there's so many different personalities out there. And some kids might resonate with some more than others. But it was pretty funny to see, like, Kate DiCamillo is a phenomenal author. I love her books, and she's putting out a series for to inspire people to like start writing. And but as a speaker online, she's like pretty awkward. So like I've been using it for myself, but I don't know if it's one that I would like share of if I had to choose any of the resources, I might not choose that. But Tomi Adeyemi is a local author in San Diego. She wrote Children of Blood and Bone, and she's amazing as like a virtual presence. And so she and Sabat Tamir have this online like dialogue where they talk about different topics in their writing. They're two like really awesome women of color authors who have created books for kids, for like young adult audiences, and talk about a lot of the like intricacies of their writing together. And so like that's an example of one that really is like generative and exciting. So we shared a few. We were looking both for people who are local that might be more interested in connecting with us because they're nearby, and also people who are like dynamic and engaging with young audiences.
Cool, thanks, Julia. Yeah, so I want to make sure that everyone has access to kind of this slide deck again. So I'm going to post that in the chat. And then the only other thing is I will also try to send it out in an email to everyone as well. And I won't run through the rest of the slides because we're a little crunched for time, but I want to just take the opportunity to thank you guys for joining us. I hope you got something out of this, and just, you know, everyone's just trying to do their best to do their part right now. And I appreciate you guys joining us and working to try to help young people stay engaged and have purpose during this time. Cool. So if you would like to head on out, you are welcome to go. I know Chris has got to get to a class. I think Julia has another meeting. I can only imagine everyone else does too. So I'm going to hang around for about another 10 or 15 minutes and chat with anyone who has questions or would like to stick around. But if you would like to head on out, it was nice to have you all.
Yeah, and thank you all for coming. It was really great to hear all of your fresh ideas also.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to looking through the slide deck.
Right on. Thanks so much. Nice. I'm going to go teach.
See you, Chris.
See you, Chris.
Hey, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Aaron Adkins, and I'm in my grad program right now getting credentialed. I do my student teaching at Monarch, but some of the students in my cohort have been inviting me, I think it's to the Chula Vista High-Tech High location.
Uh-huh.
And I was curious if any of you all were, I wouldn't say housed there, but worked there.
That's where I first started working. I was at the elementary school there for the first 6 years.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Campus.
I'm in Point Loma, right near the airport, but the Chula Vista campus is awesome. So hopefully when this all breaks, you can visit. Yeah,
that was the goal before the apocalypse happened, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I managed a reptile store for a couple of years, and I always hear good things about the incorporation of animals in husbandry, as it relates to like science and the biology department there. So I want to go.
That's awesome. There's been a lot of teachers in Chula Vista who do work. There's such awesome outdoor space there that they've been able to have chickens and things like that.
Thanks.
Real quick, I have a question from Sarah. So as far as using like slides to collaborate in Breakout Room, this has been a decent tool for me in my class. Can be a little dicey because you're giving everyone editing rights, but all I do is just go to share and anyone with the link can edit. And then I just build in empty slides that correspond to the breakout room, much like I had for you guys, and share them out that way. And so when I have them in breakout rooms, I can kind of follow along and watch what they're typing. And if I notice breakout room number 7 isn't adding anything, I can pop into breakout room number 7 and ask them what is going on. And why.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So
yeah,
you've got your Google Slides going.
Yep.
You've got a slide for each breakout room, and then because it was somebody else in my room that grabbed it. So how did they grab that slide?
So what I do is it's a separate document. I don't know how to do it through Zoom as an interface, but they just open that up like they would an internet tab.
And then they're sharing their screen.
Yeah.
Everybody else in the breakout room kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone else in the breakout room can also just look directly at the slides if everyone has access, and edit them that way. Another like structure that we've used sometimes that can help. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to. Okay,
I'm going to share this one. This is from our humanities meetings. We stole this structure from some like small group breakouts that folks were doing with their students, or like small group meetings where we would host, like, have the agenda with all the links that you would need, and then each person had a different Post-it color, and so that throughout you can add Post-its on. And something that's kind of nice about Google Slides is that you can have the slide on you can write around the slide too, so you kind of have like a desk space. So there's just like a lot of flexibility, and every time I connect with folks, I learn new ways that you can.
That Post-it, is that just a slide?
The Post-it right here is a shape, so you can say like add a shape.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, and then just draw it and put it wherever.
Yeah.
And then people can kind of like move them around and edit them, copy them, and add them elsewhere. Comment on them. So
awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I've got 6th graders, so it is a little dicey sharing the screen and all of that. But I mean, we've got to go for it, right? And for places to collaborate. That's great. Thank you.
There was a request for the template. I'll pop a template into the chat.
Yeah, and we can also link it onto the slide deck.
Great.
As well. Anyone else have thoughts or questions they'd like to discuss while we have a small group here?
I have a question just in general about the this whole workshop. If we like want to join up with another session that we didn't maybe sign up for or whatever, like I'm done right now for the day. Like I don't have anything else on my, I don't think that I can't find any other Zoom meetings to join for today, but the agenda is really packed with stuff. So I just thought, I was wondering if maybe I wanted to sign up for something else. Is there a way to do that? Do I just email Randy or?
Yeah, I think you're welcome to join as many as you'd like. I'm not sure how. I know I have another one from 1 to 2 on how to exhibit work on a digital platform that I'm not actually the leader on. I'm like more of a support role. So there's some pretty talented educators in that. I have access to that link. But Julie, do you have any idea how they get access to other links?
I think Randy is the one who is the only person who has access to all of them. So if you want another invite.
Yeah, okay. So if you look through that catalog of all the ones being offered and tell them which ones you're interested in. Send you the link.
I guess I just didn't really like think through. I wasn't sure what the flow would be, so I wasn't, I just.
I feel really excited that you're ready for more Zoom. I know that I feel like that speaks highly to your experience, so I'm glad.
That is definitely one way to interpret it. No, I just, I was like, I might as well take advantage of what's here, but because like then there's nothing for tomorrow, so I'm like, well, what do I do between now and Wednesday? My kids are doing their own, so I can find things to do, but I just thought I would take advantage of these opportunities.
Awesome.
Commitment.
All right.
I like that.
Thanks,
cool. Yeah, just reach out to Randy. He should be able to get you any link you want.
Okay. Thanks so much.
See ya. Cool.
Hi, just piggybacking off of that, I signed up for all of the classes today. For all of the classes, also knowing that my kids have Zoom classes that I sometimes need to help them with, and they're 5, 7, and 9, so they still need a lot of help with that. And I'm also teaching, and I have to meet with my own class at 2 o'clock. So I did still sign up for all of the classes just in case you guys were going to be recording it, which you are. And if you were going to be sending that out, that I'd be able to access it later and watch the recording if I wasn't able to actually be there live.
Yeah, so Randy is going to be sending out, so look for Randy Shearer, look for an email from him, and I'm assuming he will be linking these into like the original document, like where that would be my thought. And if he isn't planning on doing that, I'll recommend that to him. But he'll be sharing out all the recordings in some way, and hopefully be linking them to their descriptions as well. I think that would be helpful.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've got
thanks for joining us.
Ideas from this class, so thank you.
Awesome. One idea is a win right now, I think, for all of us.
I mean, really just start with my own parents, right? Because back at home, and what can they contribute to? I teach kindergarten, so on to all this technology and all of the other technical things. But if someone can just join us in our Zoom meeting, that would be great. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, and we'll post the link to Julia's slide. We'll link that in the slide deck as well. And I'm gonna email out the slide deck to everyone that was in our meeting, if you didn't catch it on the chat bar as well, before the end of the day.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.